court with me. All of this is evidence. Let me get his ass. Hey, babe.
Babe? What you mean, babe?
What are you doing? How are you? Who's your friend?
I'm not no friend.
Who's your friend?
No, I'm not no
Who's
friend.
your friend? No, I'm getting this because we get a divorce, and I need all the evidence that I can get. And this is the third or fourth woman that I caught him with. And who are these?
These is his kids.
Those are my kids.
No, you can call me baby mama because you finna be on some child support. Because what do you mean?
We just came back. We just came back from Greece. You just proposed. You just proposed to me.
Okay, why you gotta kill me for? Why you gotta kill my friend?
Because I need. You just asked me to renew our vows after 20 years, and you're gonna be in here with her?
It's
Oh
my
no,
daughter's birthday.
they gonna get all this
You mean my daughter's
evidence.
birthday? You a
All this evidence is going right to court.
birthday.
And guess what?
What evidence?
I'm not getting half. I'm getting about 70% on that.
I'm
You know,
sorry, because I didn't know about her. What you mean?
these kids are old as hell. These kids old as hell. So how long?
And they is. And how long y'all been married? Because I've been around
20 years. He just asked me to.
Okay.
He just asked me to renew our vows last week in Greece.
Don't play
When
me.
did he take you to
You
Greece?
dumb. You dumb. And I guess I'm dumber.
When did he take you to
Don't
Greece?
worry about it. I went to
Exactly.
Paris with
All he
him.
gonna do is
I
give you
went
these
to
babies. I bet you he ain't help you with them
Don't
though.
worry about
I
it.
bet you he ain't. I bet you he ain't. I bet you he not helping you. I bet you he not helping. All this stuff. This shit going right.
Shalom. I like to say our praises due unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, double honors the pastor of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. My name's Kanawak from Great Millstone, Toronto, doing this lesson. And it's going to be in regards to these westernized women that, you know, they only want you to marry them, right? And basically, with the whole marriage contract, you know, you have to have you basically make a contract, you know, with the government, with the state, and then you get your marriage license, you know. So it's a total wicked society that Esau has set up, because, you know, when we're in power, you know, and our forefathers like Abraham, Jacob, you know, we always had our ancestors, our forefathers, they always had more than one wife, right? And I'm gonna get that, right? Because this is nothing but confusion, man. You know, these like these two women are fighting over one man. You know, like they're really supposed to be like, you know, like sister wives and live peaceably with one another, right? No, that's why this place is going down, man. Exodus 21:10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So if you're able to afford and take care of your wives, right? You know, like that's your duty as a man, right? To basically, you know, like take care of your household and you know, handle business, right? Because when you're having a woman, you know, that's really a business. That's a contract, you know, with your wife, right? And a contract with the Heavenly Father. So I'm going to get that in Exodus 21 and verse 10 in the NLT. If a man who has married a slave wife take another wife for himself, he must not neglect the rights of the first wife to food, clothing, and sexual intimacy. So you have to, you know, have sex, you know, like, you know, with your woman, right? Yeah, you can't have your woman, you know, like deprived of sexual intercourse, right? That goes with the man and the woman, right? But yeah, man, you know, this, you know, like this society what Esau has set up, you know, has our people like they have our, like this woman talking about she's gonna bring the guy on child support and all that stuff, man. No, that's nothing but wickedness, man. Um, let's look at the comment section. It says, all I see is a legend, right? All right, no, not really see it. Oh no, man. There's a guy posted this. It says, it seems messed up, but the Western world is the only place where a man cannot have more than one woman if you could provide for them. Seems like he takes care of all his family, right? And that's what's supposed to be, right? If you have a woman and you have another woman, you're really supposed to take care of them, right? And but like this guy has to be kind of creeping. You just have to be honest. But that's why a lot of Jake now is practicing, like polygamy, because they're getting back into their ancient practice, because that's always been our practice, right? That's always been our people's practice. Jacob, he had he had two women. He had Rachel and Leah, right? And then Rachel and Leah, they had basically like midwives or concubines, right? So certain tribes was basically certain tribes. When you read about Jacob and his wives and basically his midwives, right? They bear children, right? So like that's why certain of the tribe, they have a different type of spirit, right? They have a different type of characteristics. When you read, when you read about Gad, I believe, Asher, certain, like you have to read about. No, you can read about it, um, about Jacob and his wives and stuff, right? But it's going back to that ancient way of life. Isaiah 4:1, and that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, unless we call by thy name to take away our reproach. So that's going to happen when these women are going to come after certain of the elect brothers, and they're going to be, like they're going to be humble, right? And they're going to, want protection and want a man. Let's get this in NLT. Isaiah 4:1. If in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name, so we won't be mocked as old maids. Right? There's a lot of women right now that are single, right? And they don't have no man, right? So so women's gonna be coming our way, man. As hopeful members of the elect, the Lord is gonna have it when when all hell's breaking loose. A lot of women's gonna come flocking onto the men of the Lord, right? And it's gonna be your option, to either like to refuse her or to accept her, right? No, but this was a short video. I didn't want to go too long, but this always been our practice, having more than one wife, and if you could afford that, having more than one wife, there's nothing wrong with that, because that's always been our practice as Israelite men, so with that, I like to say our praises due unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Ba'ashem, and Kakwadash. Double honor to parts of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.